15 seconds. This is a regular Louisville Metro Council meeting of May 15, 2025. Please come to order. The time is currently 6:01 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being held pursuant to KRS 61.826 and Council Rule 5A. Madam Clerk, a calling of the roll, please.
Councilmember Hawkins.
Present.
Councilmember Shanklin.
Present.
Councilmember Parrish-Wright.
Present.
Councilmember Herndon.
Here.
Councilmember Purvis.
Present.
Councilmember Leninger.
Present.
Councilmember McCraney. Councilmember Reno Weber. Councilmember Owen.
Here.
Councilmember Raymond.
Here.
Councilmember Kramer. Councilmember Joseph.
Here.
Councilmember Syme. Councilmember Bast. Here. Councilmember Chappell. Councilmember Reed.
Here.
Councilmember Winkler.
Here.
Councilmember Parker. Here. Councilmember Piagentini. Here. Councilmember Benson.
Present.
Councilmember Rui.
Here.
Councilmember Bratcher.
Here.
Councilmember Hudson. Councilmember Mulvey Woolridge.
Here.
Councilmember Batshon. President Ackerson.
Present.
Mr. President, you have 20 and a quorum.
All right, let the record reflect that Councilwoman McCraney and Councilman Kramer have excused absences. Councilwoman Hawkins, I believe you've got a page this evening.
Yes, sir, I do. My page, Jace Jones, if you would stand up, please. We have Jace Jones. He's 9 years old. He enjoys reading, playing video games, drawing, and he is homeschooled. Thank you, Jace, for being here today.
Madam Clerk, are there any addresses to the council?
Yes, sir, there are.
Let me remind those addressing council to please refrain from using any profanity or making derogatory statements to council people. Additionally, there are no more than 3 persons that may speak to any same position on any one topic before this council. So if there's a 4th person that desires to speak, unfortunately, the rules require that they would be denied that access. Madam Clerk, please call the first speaker.
Brittany Stats.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Stats, and in the year and a half that I've lived in my neighborhood, I have encountered countless issues with people that have panhandled by my house. The panhandlers have been passed out drunk on our property more than 3 times. They use panhandling as a front to buy and sell drugs, as well as shoot up on a corner adjacent to an elementary school, physically assaulted me, thrown food at our windows, stolen and vandalized our property. Fight over the corner our house sits on. I actually saw a man try to beat another panhandler with a fence post, harassed me and stalked me down the street after I politely asked them to remove their trash from our property or to keep down the yelling right outside our windows. The yelling has included racial slurs before. They leave trash all around our property that I have to clean up on a daily basis. I am happy to provide photo and video evidence as well as police reports to anyone that is interested. The panhandlers are so close to our home that I can literally reach out and touch them from my porch. It's gotten to the point where I'm having to build a fortress around our home, mirrors so I can see who's out there before we leave for a walk, cameras, a fence, bird spikes around our windows. My neighbors across the street have to walk around them on their own front steps to get into their home. When we first moved into the home, there were maybe 2 to 3 panhandlers a day. That number has increased to over half a dozen, and I fear it will continue to grow if nothing is done. I understand that panhandling is a First Amendment right, and I'm not here to try and start some sort of movement to have that overturned. I'm sure a lot of panhandlers depend on the money they receive. I would just like some sort of protection that can be enforced by the police when it comes to them panhandling by residential property. As it stands today, anytime I call law enforcement, they tell me their hands are tied because our home sits on a public sidewalk. a sidewalk that I am responsible for keeping clean and free of snow, leaves, and weeds, but I'm not permitted to ask people who loiter for hours at a time to move on. I'm here to ask for help. An ordinance perhaps barring people from panhandling within so many feet of a private residence, a loitering rule, a pedestrian law, social workers to come out and confirm what sort of assistance can be provided so they won't need to panhandle. Something that would allow the police to ask them to move on. As it stands today, law enforcement can't do that even when the panhandler has destroyed our property. They have a license to remain and harass because they're holding a sign. Outside of reaching out to the police, we have tried to handle these issues ourselves, but it quickly turns retaliatory and dangerous. When you guys go home this evening, and I understand we are all blessed to have homes, those of us that do, I'd like you to imagine having people that have harassed you, vandalized your property, and stolen from you, standing right outside your home every single day, and living with the fact that there's nothing you can do about it because your home sits on a public sidewalk. I'm sure you'll be left asking yourself, I have just 2 more sentences. What rights do I have as a property owner to peaceful enjoyment of my home? Your home should be a sanctuary, not a place filled with anxiety and fear. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to any solutions made available. Thanks again.
Thank you. Sean White?
I'm here because I think we need an ordinance that panhandling should not be allowed around residential property. I can almost bet that nobody in this room experiences abuse by panhandlers at their house. I've lived on First and St. Catherine since 1981. Old Louisville is the largest preservation district in the nation. It should be cherished. Our houses are a little more expensive to maintain. We shouldn't have to struggle like this. They panhandle, they attack, they sell drugs, they fight, they destroy her property, they throw food on her window. In the 90s, I went to John Boyle. There was crack dealing and gangs across the street from Englehart. In 21, I experienced 14 overdoses. In 23, 6 days out of 7, I saw drug abuse in Old Louisville. So we deal with drug abuse, transitional houses, which is a new cash cow, and drug problems on the street. Brittany is involved in different committees. She's the only person I know that cleans the whole block. Most people clean in front of their house. So if she moves after, her time's up, Old Louisville's losing a good neighbor. And the panhandlers are winning. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan Simpson? Jordan Simpson? Ashley Evans?
So I'm also speaking on the panhandling. I grew up in Old Louisville and currently live in the St. Joseph's neighborhood, and just kind of want to share the unhoused crises and my experiences. So I've got several investment properties in Old Louisville, and I work in New Lou. Going into New Lou for it, daily, if you get stopped at the off-ramp at Brook and Chestnut, you're having people passed out in the street. You're wondering if you're going to run over someone. You've got people knocking on your windows. As I go into work in New Lou, if I don't get to park in the parking lot, I wonder how many times I'm going to get harassed going into work. And that's just the daily experiences there. I do quite a few meetings in different office buildings in downtown Louisville. If I'm going in downtown Louisville and I'm not familiar with the building, I will have a cell phone number or a line so that I know somebody can let me in. At that point, I'm not standing out. So I've got several renovations in Old Louisville, and I'm down there pretty regularly. I feel really blessed that I get to move on from each of those different experiences, that I get to, move people off of my projects and that part, and then go home in peace. A lot of people are stopping the renovations in Old Louisville and other urban areas out of fear that the unhoused are going to move in and set the property on fire. They're out hundreds of thousands of dollars as well as their time. And I keep doing those renovations, but We board our windows, we put in security cameras, and then a lot of prayers. And it's hard. And ultimately, I really feel at peace, even as I leave home. A lot of times as I'm leaving Louisville, I will go through the Arthur ramp. I've almost hit people on countless times where they're in the middle of the street dressed in black. I live in fear that I'm going to kill someone just driving down the road. So it's a crisis at the Kroger. I don't know who's going to knock on my window and ask for food. And all of it is, at least I feel comfortable when I go home that I get to sit on my front porch in peace, that it's not at my house and walking away from it. So even though all of this bothers me and kind of my day-to-day experiences, I realize how fortunate I am compared to Steve and Brittany Stats that it's not at my personal home. So absolutely kind of for changing something on the unhoused crises in Louisville.
Thank you. Denise Ruffra?
Hello, my name is Denise Ruffra, and I attend St. Lawrence Catholic Church in Shively, and I am a member of CLOUT, Citizens of Louisville Organized and United Together. Last fall, as we do every year, CLOUT had a citywide listening process that engaged more than 400 community members to hear their concerns. We heard story after story about mental health. Some of the stories were so dramatic that the loved ones who have been in crisis who were not at a loss of where to turn. Some were stories about youth who are struggling with their mental health after the pandemic. Even if you weren't involved in our listening process, the crisis around mental health in our community should be clear to all of us. We've all seen someone having a mental health crisis in public, a grocery store, in the streets, outside our congregations. And those of us who want to help feel powerless because there's nothing we can do on our own to get them the help they need. In CLOUT's research on this issue, we learned that one of the biggest gaps in Louisville's mental health care system is that there aren't enough places to go when someone is in crisis. Without a safe place to go, too many people end up in jail or a hospital, which only makes their crisis worse. The national best practice to solve the problem is a 24/7 crisis drop-in center, like the one 7 counties is working to establish by January 2026. This center allows people to walk in or be dropped off by first responders. Once there, they will have an evaluation from a licensed practitioner who can connect them to the appropriate level of care and other resources they need. But in order to make this a reality, the funding needs to be in place. We are asking you, as a Metro Council, to make that a reality. You have the power to amend the budget and create the funding for this much-needed service. After this initial investment to launch the program, we believe that 7 counties can work towards sustainable funding without annual costs for Metro government. Funding the center will not only save people's lives, it will bring us closer to the city we all want Louisville to be, a compassionate city where we take care of our neighbors instead of casting them aside. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Angela Johnson?
Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Angela Johnson. I am the pastor of Grace Hope Presbyterian Church in Smoketown, and I too am a member of CLOUT. I am speaking on the consent decree. The killing of Breonna Taylor 5 years ago and the community outcry that followed was a wake-up call to many in our community. But for others, it was a reminder of what we have known for years, that the issue of racial injustice in policing is not new. As we saw in the recent report on the history of policing in Louisville that was funded by Louisville Metro government, there is a pattern of racial discrimination in policing, dating back to the founding of our city. And this pattern has continued to the present day, as the 2023 DOJ report confirmed. The consent decree signed in December marks a real step forward for improving policing and building trust in our community. Although the DOJ initiated this process, we know that their priorities may have changed and that the legal status of the consent decree is uncertain. But whatever the priorities of the federal government may be, moving forward with the consent decree is a statement to the community about who Louisville is. It shows that we are willing to do the hard work of reform, not because it's easy, not because the federal government is making us do it, but because it's the right thing to do. It's the kind of commitment that the community has been calling on for centuries, and it's the kind of commitment that we deserve. Following through on the consent decree reforms will make us a safer and more equitable community, and establishing quality independent monitoring will help build the trust between the community and the police that has been so sorely missing. Fair and transparent policing practices are good for citizens and for the police. So we urge you to keep the $750,000 set aside for consent decree monitoring in the budget. We've come too far to turn back now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. LaKenda Martin. LaKenda Martin. Oh, sorry, ma'am.
I didn't hear you.
You're fine.
Hi, my name is LaKenda Martin. I've spoken at this council meeting at least 3 times. The topic will be waste, fraud, abuse, and retaliation. I have been a part of 3 of the state programs, the Lead Safe Louisville program, the Healthy Homes, and the Home Repair program. I have been removed from the ECAP program that initially brought me in contact with the other 3 programs. Since I've been involved in these programs, the company ABN Restorations that the city has been doing business with for over 20 years has left my house with mold, holes in the roof, in 2 of my roofs, mold in my kitchen, and an unsafe structure with my back porch. And they have left me with code violations, which is ironic that I was in the ECAP program that addresses code violations for your property. Once I've contacted staff from the Housing and Community Development, what I've been met with was resistance to take action. They have been retaliatory by leaving me with these code violations and putting me under duress to sign another paper for this gentleman to receive more money for materials that he did not purchase in the first place. I have a wooden home. This gentleman I had to provide pictures to Housing and Development showing that where he left holes in my home, trying to cover it up with siding. I went to the director over the Housing and Development to no avail. They've just been ignoring me, just keep sending me emails trying to get me to sign these papers so they can be done with me and leave my home in this unsafe condition. So I'm reaching out to the council to look at who you all are dealing with as contractors and for help to get my home repaired in the proper manner, which the city is paying for through these programs. So if any help that can be done, I do live in District 5. So if any help that you can give me, Ms. Purvis, I will gladly receive it. So that is my time. I appreciate anything that you all could do, and please investigate ABN Restoration because they are on another HUD housing development for this fiscal year. So, and he's received over $250,000 from the city, and he's leaving residents in a bad situation in the West End, and this is for low-income families to restore the homes that they own. So if you could please do anything that you can and stop doing business with ABN Restorations. And the city is aware of the fraud and abuse that he has been reported for because I reported it and I showed them the emails and different things like that, and they're continuing to want to work with him. So anything that you all can do to step in, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie Cecil.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Louisville Democratic Socialists of America's Solidarity City 2025 campaign. You heard from several of my comrades at the March 27th meeting speak about the need for strong, uncompromising policies for sanctuary for youth and immigrants. I'm here to say that those policies are still needed more than ever. Specifically, Metro Council must enact sanctuary policies for immigrants. I work with immigrants and refugees on a daily basis, and I can attest to the fact that these are unprecedented times. Funding cuts to nonprofits have shaken established support systems, and arbitrary changes to immigration procedures have left all immigrants, regardless of how they arrived in the country, terrified for their futures. People who have been and want to follow the law are having their lives uprooted, and by passing unequivocal sanctuary policies, Metro could grant them a measure of stability that they're being otherwise denied by the federal government, by some members of the state government, and by surrounding counties who are overextending support to immigration law enforcement. Councilman Herndon, you represent District 4, where JBS Swift is located, the pork processing plant that gives Butchertown its name. JBS is so well known in the Cuban community that people arrive in the city asking how to get a job at El Matadero, El Butcher. Immigrants are your constituents. Councilwoman Shanklin, District 2 has GE Appliance Park, which proudly boasts an In Every Voice program that has language ambassadors for Spanish, Swahili, and Kinyarwanda-speaking workers. Immigrants are your constituents. Councilwoman Chappell, 2 weekends ago, the whole world had its eyes on your District 15 for an event that would have been impossible without 80% of its staff. Immigrants are your constituents. Time permitted, I could continue for every district represented here today, because immigrants are your constituents. Solidarity City is not advocating for protections for immigrants for the sake of political debate. We are standing alongside immigrants that have built Louisville as a city through their contributions to industry and culture. We are standing alongside our friends, coworkers, neighbors, and church members. Immigrants are not a threat to our communities. They are our communities. To that end, immigrants should not feel less safe to walk down the street, to take their kids to school, to buy groceries, or to worship, because they might encounter an immigration enforcement agent who has been bolstered by their own tax dollars from this city. Sanctuary policies would be protecting the residents of Louisville from an infringement on their rights to due process. It is easy to target immigrants as others and outsiders, but an attack on the rights of any person living in this country or this city is an attack on all of our rights. Again, I urge you to protect Louisville by protecting your constituents through enacting sanctuary policy. We should not be diverting city resources to terrorizing city residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Tyler Rui. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Tyler Love Rooney, and I stand before you as a proud resident of Louisville and also as a member of Louisville Democratic Socialists of America and a concerned advocate for our immigrant community. Louisville has made meaningful strides toward being a welcoming city. Both Louisville Metro Police Department and Jefferson County Public Schools have taken a commendable stance of non-involvement with ICE. That is a vital step, and I thank you for supporting policies that protect the trust between immigrants and our public institutions. But let me be clear. Our immigrant neighbors need more than neutrality. They need affirmation. They need protection. And tonight, I urge this council to take the next step and declare Louisville a sanctuary city. Every day, immigrants in our city live under the shadow of fear. Fear of detention, deportation, and separation from their families. These are people who pay taxes, contribute to our economy, and enrich the culture of our neighborhoods. They deserve more than silence in the face of federal intimidation. They deserve our full and public commitment to their safety and dignity. By declaring sanctuary status, Louisville will not be breaking federal law. What we will be doing is prioritizing local safety over politics, ensuring that our police focus on protecting residents and not policing immigrant status. We will be sending a clear message that Louisville stands with its immigrant population and that we will not be complicit in tearing families apart. We've seen what happens when fear keeps people from reporting crimes or seeking medical help. Our entire community suffers. But when people feel safe, when they know that their city stands behind them, they participate, they contribute, and they thrive. Louisville is becoming known as a city that leads with compassion. Let's lead with that compassion now. Let us match the courage of our immigrant neighbors with a courageous policy. Let us declare Louisville a sanctuary city and show that this community protects all who call it home. Thank you.
Thank you. Isa Leon.
The Good evening, Council. My name is Isa Leon, and I'm also a member of the Louisville Democratic Socialists of America. I am speaking on behalf of our 2025 Solidarity City campaign to urge you to pass a sanctuary ordinance for trans people. As a lifelong Louisvillian, I need you to prioritize our trans neighbors and pass a sanctuary ordinance with legal protections for our identities, bodily autonomy, and right to exist. I want to first tell you a little bit about me and my story. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm 22 years old. I grew up in District 18 and now reside in District 6. I came out as non-binary in 2021 when I was still in college. I was accepted by my family and received a lot of support from my own community. I had other trans youth to lean on and learn from. But my journey has not been easy. I battled with mental illness, facing moments where I wasn't sure I would survive. Access to affirming healthcare and therapy didn't just improve my life, it saved me. And this is why I'm here tonight, because every trans person deserves the same chance at survival, at thriving, and at simply existing. Being trans is not a mental illness, it's not a trend, it's not sinful or evil or bad. Being trans is beautiful, and people are trying to take that away from us. I've watched as people that we elected debate our existence, watching people we elected attack us for simply existing. Trans people account for less than 1% of our country's population. Why are we at the center of a manufactured culture war when our community is struggling with real challenges like poverty, healthcare access, and economic instability? We can't afford to go backwards anymore. Educate yourself and others about these dangers and who are supporting them. It might seem like a partisan issue, but it's really not. This is a human rights issue. Everyone deserves the right to be themselves, to be happy, and to be proud. As an example, we can look to the City of West Hollywood's ordinance from 2023 that, quote, reiterates the City of West Hollywood's commitment to transgender rights and equal protections for trans community members in light of the anti-trans proposals being proposed and enacted throughout the country, end quote. This isn't just a legal document, it's a shield. It's a statement of our values, and it's a declaration that trans lives are worth protecting. Our state assembly has already done enormous harm to trans Kentuckians, especially to our youth. Louisville can show the rest of Kentucky that trans people are not a community to fear. This isn't just about protecting us. It's about affirming the core values of our city: compassion, equality, and the right of every person to live authentically and safely. A sanctuary ordinance isn't a political statement, it's a declaration of our shared humanity. Let us live. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President, that concludes the addresses to council.
Next, we have the approval of council minutes for the regular meeting of April 24th, 2025. Is there any corrections or deletions? Have a motion and a second? All right, probably moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved as written. Next, we have the approval of the following council minutes for the all in 2025. The regular committee of the whole, April 24th. The regular Planning and Zoning Committee, May 6th. The regular Labor and Economic Development Committee, May 6th. The regular Public Works Committee, May 6th. The regular Government Oversight, Audit, and Appointments Committee, May 6th. The regular Equity, Community Affairs, Housing, Health, and Education Committee, May 7th. The regular Appropriations Committee, May 7th. The regular Public Safety Committee, May 7th. The regular Ad Hoc Committee on Efficiencies of Boards and Commissions, May 7th. The regular Parks and Sustainability Committee, May 8th. The regular Budget Committee, May 8th. Are there any corrections or deletions? May I have a motion?
Motion.
And I got heard two motions. That would be a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any in opposition? Hearing no opposition, the minutes are approved as written. Madam Clerk, do we have any communications to the council?
Yes, sir, we do.
Please read those into the record.
Dear President Agerson, in accordance with the Civilian Review and Accountability Ordinance, I am appointing the following. Dr. Ida Dickey, the Metro Council appointment, term expires March the 25th, 2028. Dr. Kenneth Pagano, Metro Council appointment, term expires March 25th, 2027. Ben Heim Sims, a mayor appointment, term expires March the 25th, 25. Your prompt action on these appointments is much appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Greenberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, in accordance with the ordinance, I'm reappointing the following to the Deputy Sheriff Merit Board. Colonel Dietrich Briscoe, a reappointment, term expires June the 13th, 2027. Rolandis Byrd, a reappointment, term expires June 13th, 2027. Your prompt action on these appointments is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, in accordance with the Volunteer Fire District Ordinance, I am reappointing the following to the Fern Creek Fire Protection District Board. Tracy Deloge, a reappointment, term expires June the 30th, 2028. Your prompt action on this reappointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, in accordance with the Volunteer Fire District Ordinance, I am reappointing the following to the Jeffersontown Fire Protection District Board. Leslie Graff Vincent, a reappointment, term expires June the 30th, 2028. Your prompt action on this reappointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Greenberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, in accordance with the Fire Protection District Ordinance, I am reappointing the following to the Okolona Fire Protection District Board. Sharon Jeter, a reappointment, term expires June the 30th, 2028. Your prompt action on this reappointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, in accordance with the ordinance, I'm appointing the following to the Parking Authority of River City. Jordan Harris, a new appointment, term expires June 30th, 2029. Your prompt action on this appointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, I am appointing the following to the Pleasure Ridge Park Fire Protection District Board. Dina Whitler Weedham, a new appointment, term expires June 30, 2028. Your prompt action on this appointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, I am reappointing the following to the St. Matthews Fire Protection District Board. Kathy Wrigley, a reappointment, a term expires June the 30th, 2028. Prompt action on this reappointment is most appreciated. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Dear President Ackerson, I am reappointing the following to the Zoo Foundation Board. Mark Brown, a reappointment, term expires May the 10th, 2028. David Tummins, a reappointment, term expires May 26, 2028. This is to be read into the record only. No approval needed. Sincerely, Craig Ringberg, Mayor. Read in full.
Those appointments needing council approval will be forwarded to the Government Oversight and Audit Committee. Next order of business is the consent calendar. The consent calendar comprises of items 24 through 51. Are there any additions or deletions? Councilwoman Purvis?
I'm so sorry. I was focused on something else. Yes, President Ackerson, pursuant to Council Rule 7.05, as the presiding officer of the Government Oversight, Audits and Appointments Committee, I ask that items 59, 60, and 61 on old business be moved to the consent calendar, as they were only amended to correct the term expiration date of each department.
Are there any objections to that? No. Hearing no objections, so done, Madam.
Thank you.
Any other corrections or deletions? Councilman Dolan.
Thank you, President. Pursuant to Council Rule 7.05E, as the presiding officer of the Planning and Zoning Committee, I ask that item 57 be sent back to the consent calendar, as Councilman Winkler originally requested the item to be moved from consent to old business, but has addressed his concerns and is now willing to have it added back to the consent calendar.
Are there any objections to that? That is so granted, sir. Any other corrections or deletions? Councilman Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask to please move item 50 from the consent calendar to old business for an amendment from the administration, please.
And there is no reason for objection to that. That is granted.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, a second reading of these items.
The following legislation was forwarded from the Appropriations Committee. Item 24, an ordinance rescinding ordinance number 200, Series 2024, appropriating $6,025 from District 6 Neighborhood Development Funds to Louisville Metro Office of Arts and Creative Industries for costs associated with the mural at the 3 Points intersection. The following legislation was forwarded from the Budget Committee. Item 25, an ordinance amending ordinance number 100, Series 2024, relating to the fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget by transferring $3,000 from the Neighborhood Development Fund, District 14, to the Louisville Metro Council General Operations District 14. Item 26, an ordinance amending ordinance number 100, 2024, relating to the fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget by transferring $5,000 from the Neighborhood Development Fund, District 13, to the Louisville Metro Council General Operations District 13. Item 27, an ordinance amending ordinance number 101, Series 2024, and ordinance number 100, Series 2024, relating to fiscal year 2024-2025 capital and operating budgets respectively by transferring $106,228.58 to the Neighborhood Development Fund, District 13, to the Capital Infrastructure Fund, District 13. Item 28, an ordinance approving the 35th supplemental sewer and drainage system revenue bond resolution adopted by the Board of the Louisville Jefferson County Metropolitan Sewer District, authorizing the issuance of the district's sewer and drainage system revenue and revenue refunding bond, Series 2025. The following legislation was forwarded from the Government Oversight, Audit, and Appointments Committee. Item 29, a reappointment of Candace Shobe White to the Air Pollution Control District Board. Term expires April the 25th, 2028. Item 30, appointment of Matthew Wisman to the Cemetery Board. Term expires April the 13th, 2028. Item 31, appointment of Caitlin Kimmery to the Cemetery Board. Term expires April 13th, 2028. Item 32, appointment of Natalie Owen to the Cemetery Board. Term expires April the 13th, 2026. Item 33, appointment of Dr. Megan Paxton to the Human Relations Advocacy Board. Term expires September the 30th, 2028. Item 34, appointment of Dr. Terry Davenport to the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission. Term expires April the 29th, 2026. Item 35, appointment of the Benjamin Johnson to the Juneteenth Jubilee Committee. Term expires April the 29th, 2026. Item 36, appointment of Deshaun Price to the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission. Term expires April the 29th, 2028. Item 37, appointment of Venetia Garner to the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission. Term expires April the 29th, 2028. Item 38, reappointment of Dawn Wilson to the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission. Term expires April the 29th, 2028. Item 39, reappointment of Barbara Lynn Jamison to the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission. Term expires April the 29th, 2028. Item 40, appointment of Bridget Harmon to the Louisville Downtown Management District Board. Term expires March 23rd, 2028. Item 41, appointment of Keith Sells to the Louisville Downtown Management District Board. Term expires July the 26th, 2027. Item 42, appointment of Brian Muir to the Waterfront Development Corporation Board. Term expires June the 31st, 2026. Item 59, appointment of Jason Smith to the Anchorage Middletown Fire Protection District Board. Term expires June 30th, 2025, as amended. Item 60, appointment of Andrea Osser to the Anchorage Middletown Fire Protection District Board. Term expires June 30th, 2025, as amended. Item 61, appointment of Clinton Hall to the Anchorage Middletown Fire Protection District Board. Term expires June the 30th, 2025, as amended. The following legislation was forwarded from the Labor and Economic Development Committee. Item 43, an ordinance expanding the establishing the borders of the Louisville Downtown Management District. Item 44, a resolution approving the granting of local incentives to Kroger Fulfillment Network, LLC, and any subsequent assignees or approved affiliates thereof pursuant to the KRS Chapter 154, Subchapter 32. The following legislation was forwarded from the Parks and Sustainability Committee. Item 45, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government to accept the assignment of one scenic conservation easement located at 5811 Stoll Hill Road in Jefferson County, Kentucky, from the Louisville Jefferson County Metropolitan Sewer District. Item 46, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government to accept the assignment of four scenic conservation easement from the Louisville Jefferson County Metropolitan Sewer District along the South Fork of Beargrass Creek in Jefferson County, Kentucky. The following legislation was forwarded from the Planning and Zoning Committee. Item 47, an ordinance relating to the detailed district development plan for the property located at 6803 Bueller Church Road, containing approximately 18.3 acres and being a Louisville Metro, case number 22 DDP 0007. Item 48, a resolution requesting the Planning Commission review the Land Development Code regulations with regard to allowing off-premises sign to be constructed as and upgraded to changing image signs. And item 57, a resolution requesting the Planning Commission review the Louisville Metro Land Development Code, LDC, relating to notices. The following legislation was forwarded from the Public Safety Committee. Item 49, a resolution pursuant to the capital and operating budget ordinances approving the appropriation to fund the following non-competitively negotiated professional service contract for Louisville Metro Police Department, LMPD, concerning a coordinator for the sexual assault forensic examiner program and requiring reporting thereon as herein set forth. University of Medical Center, Inc., doing business as University of Louisville Hospital, James Brown Cancer Center, $100,000. The following legislation was forwarded from the Public Works Committee. Item 51, an resolution authorizing the Office of Jefferson County Attorney to bring a condemnation action against the owners of certain property, parcel number 4 in Jefferson County in connection with the Aiken Road and Arnold Palmer Boulevard roundabout project. Read in full.
May I have a motion?
Motions.
Items probably before us. Consent calendar requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, open the roll.
Are you? Thank you. Mr. President, you have 21 yes votes.
The consent calendar passes. The next item on business is old business. Madam Clerk, a reading of item number 52.
An ordinance appropriating $7,450 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $1,500 from District 9, $1,000 from District 4, $850 from District 8, $500 each from Districts 10, 17, and 20, $450 each from Districts 1 and 3, $400 from each from Districts 15 and 21, $350 from District 24, $300 from District 13, and $250 from District 16 through the Office of Management Budget to Louisville Independent Business Alliance, Inc. for costs associated with the 2025 Buy Local Fair as amended, read in full.
Is there a motion? A second. Items properly before us. Councilman Parker, this came out of your committee. You have the floor, madam.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This is an ordinance, it was an appropriation that is on old business because it was amended to add appropriate more dollars, and Councilman Owen would probably like to speak to it.
Thank you. So we've done this for the last few years. This is for Louisville Independent Business Alliance. Louisville Independent Business Alliance will host the Buy Local Affair on Saturday, June 8th from 12 to 6 p.m. The fair connects customers of local businesses, foodies, community organizers, and local arts patrons in celebration of Louisville's vast selection of unique offerings. NDF funds will be used for advertising and marketing, design and tracking of ads, event planning, day of contractors, t-shirts for volunteers, rental equipment, supplies, and printing. We have reached about 3/4 of the $11,000 total, so we're hoping we might be able to top it off this evening. Thank you.
I'm sorry, this is the clerk, Sonia. Councilwoman Hawkins, I think you were going to change your appropriation from $450 to $500.
Yes.
I'd like to add,
Councilman Parrish.
I'll add $500.
An additional $500?
Yes.
Councilwoman Purvis.
$250 from District 5.
$250 from District 12.
Anyone else? I've got, Councilwoman Bast.
$250 from 14.
I'll add additional 500 from 9.
I'm bouncing back and forth between the queue and looking for hand signals, and I see neither at the moment. Anyone else? How much more do we need? Where we at?
We need $1,750 more.
$1,750. Barbara? Now, I think we're $1,500 short.
Who was that? Thank you. How much, she said how much? How much did she say?
I don't know.
250 from District 2. Thank
250
you.
from District 2. That makes us 1,500 short at the moment. Councilwoman Rui.
An additional 300.
1,200. I feel like an auctioneer. Do I have 12? Seeing no one else in the queue, Madam Clerk, all those in favor of the amended ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, we need a motion in a second.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We've got it. We've got the amended ordinance before us. Any other discussion on the amended ordinance? None. This requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, open the roll, please.
Yes, clerk.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Betshon? All right. Mr.
Yes. Yes.
I got you. Thank you. Mr. President, you have 22 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, a reading of item number 53.
An ordinance appropriating $5,250 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $2,500 from District 1, $500 each from Districts 16 and 20, $250 from Districts 2, 12, 13, 17, 18, and 19, and 23, to the Louisville Metro Police Department for costs associated with the community outreach and officer support within the 2nd Division, as amended, read in full.
The item is properly before us. This item came out of Councilman Parker's committee, and Councilman, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. The sponsor was Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins, so she may want to speak to it, but it too is on old business because it was amended for folks to add more appropriation dollars.
Councilman Hawkins.
Thank you, Councilwoman Parker. It's going to be the West End Louisville Community Engagement, National Night Out, Meet the Beat Officer, Teddy Bears for Kids, Face Painting, Trauma, Car Club to reduce stolen cars, and emergency food for seniors. So appreciate everyone's signing on to this. Would you like for me to start, Sonia? Oh, okay. So, Councilwoman Shanklin, $250. Okay, Councilwoman Parrish Wright, $17.50. Councilman Ken Herndon, $500. Councilman Ben Wheeler Weber, $250. Councilman Andrew Owens, $250. Councilmember JJ, $250. Councilmember Symes, $250. Councilmember Blast, $250. Councilmember Reed, $500. Okay, so you already got those. Winkler, $250. Parker, $250. Piangentini, $250. Benson Stewart, $500. Okay, Bratcher, $1,000. That's right, Bratcher, where you at? Councilman Hudson, $250. Councilman Khalil Bashan, $250. Councilman Ackerson, $250. Councilman Jenny Warridge, $250.
Okay. That leaves a balance of $250.
You have some speakers in there.
D18 we'll put in.
Well, I got to get to my queue. Hold on here.
Yeah, okay.
This is
Councilman
item
Parker.
53, right? So I
You've
got
already
Councilman
given.
Piangentini's first in the queue.
You can, what's the balance?
You've already given.
I know that, but
Okay,
what's the
the
balance?
balance is, I don't think they want you to do the balance.
Yeah,
What's the balance?
I thought they needed to.
he can do $459. And then we got,
Or why is somebody,
yep.
is somebody not
Bax
contributed who
jump
wants
in.
to contribute? Is that what's happening? Oh, if somebody has not contributed and wants to make it up, then I will leave it to whoever wants to do that.
Well, the next in the queue is Councilwoman Bast. She's in,
Okay. So, do you want to give, would you like to give $249? That's the balance that they're trying to get to. No, we're not quite there.
Yes.
What's left? $1, Mayor. I got you.
That's not even worth the trouble.
items properly before us. All those in favor of the amended version of this ordinance, say aye. Aye. Any in opposition? Hearing no opposition, now we have the amended ordinance before us. Any discussion on it?
Actually, yes.
Yes, go, swing away.
I just want to put something out there related to these. I fully support this NDF, and you know, we'll see other police divisions. These are small beans. These are small dollars in relation to a $1.2 billion budget. And I think we really need to think about, if we're going to do these things, if community outreach is part of what LMPD should do, that they should put it in their budget instead of doing this, you know, pass around the hat thing with us. So you know, look, I'm just saying, as we're in the budget cycle, I think it's something we should probably talk about, as opposed to doing this way, which feels a little piecemeal, as opposed to being part of a greater strategy. So anyway, thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I had a comment. I'm in the queue.
You've got it, madam.
Thank you. I can say that I wholeheartedly agree with Councilman Piagentini. I don't give the police a lot of money out of our funds, but I will say I attended the Division II meeting as we've been meeting with our division officers, and they do a great deal, so it goes really far. I think the last time I gave, there was a crossing guard who was very hurt, and we helped her hospital bills. But I do agree that there are ways that this can be taken care of because we have such limited funds. But I'm happy to support this with Councilwoman Hawkins. Thank you.
Anyone else? See no one else in the queue. This is a ordinance that requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, open the roll.
Councilmember Batchon?
Yes. Hey, who's that Dakota Ray?
He has no idea.
Some says she's not at the beach.
Yes, please.
Councilmember Shanklin? Mr. President, you have 20 yes votes and 2 present votes.
The ordinance is approved. The next item on our agenda, Madam Clerk, a reading of item number 54.
Appropriating $1,750 from the Neighborhood Development Funds in the following manner. $1,000 from District 15 and $250 each from Districts 10, 12, and 18 through the Office of Management Budget to Gathering Strength, Inc. for sponsorship of their first annual Adaptive Recreation Showcase. As amended, read in full.
Items properly before us. This item came out of Councilwoman Parker's committee, and Councilwoman Parker, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Just a funny comment, and regarding the last appropriation, dialing for dollars, I don't think I've ever seen appropriation for $1. But anyway, so this appropriation, it too is on old business, adding more dollars. And Councilwoman Chappell is the sponsor. However, this is a sponsorship, so I believe that the amounts have to be at least in increments of 500. Is that correct?
We just have, I'm sorry, this is Sonia, the clerk. We just have to reach, the goal is $5,000. We just have to reach either stay inside the limits. There's a $500, $1,000, $2,500, and a $5,000 limit. We can add it up to equal those amounts.
But I think what you're saying essentially is if you're going to give to this, a $500 is the minimum give to give, correct?
It was two. Okay, if you say
But
so.
so if it falls short, though, the end result is that won't work, correct? Okay, that's,
Okay.
I'll let you guys do the math. All right. Councilwoman Chappell.
Sponsoring this, it's not only a great cause, but it's happening in my district at the University of Louisville SAC Center, the Student Activity Center. This is the first annual Adaptive Recreation Showcase, and so anyone who plays adaptive sports, if they have any sort of restriction, there's sports available to you, so if you want to go out and play, you can. You can sign up in advance, and I believe you can show up day of. But it's just a great time for us to uplift those in our community that are disabled. So please consider giving. I think it's a really great cause, and it's going to be on July 19th from 10 to 4 p.m. And we would appreciate your support in whatever amount you're willing to give.
The ask is for $5,000, $3,250 remain.
You got the floor.
Thank you. This event borders my district. I want to contribute $1,000.
$250, District 1.
Councilwoman Murray.
$250 from 21.
$500 from 10, please.
Thank you. Councilwoman, you have given, so far you've given $250, so you'll add an additional? Okay, thank you. $500 total, so you'll add an additional $250. So noted.
It's not hard about that. Anyone else? Yes, we got Councilman Winkler.
Sonia, can you confirm what sort of level we're at and what you need?
So we're stuck in the middle of a level, so we need $1,500 to get to the next level. That would be $2,500 or $5,000.
Okay.
So we need $1,500. Do you have that?
250. but Councilman Owens behind me, he was signaling me that he wants to do 1250, so I will leave that for him.
Also 250, thank you.
I misread.
Councilman Leninger.
250.
I think there's a nun that is watching this actively, if that puts any pressure on anyone.
You're 750 short of that level. Anyone else? Councilman Parker.
Yes, I think they partner with Fraser Rehab, and just being a trauma ICU nurse for a long, long time, they do great work. So I'll bump mine up to I'll add another 250 to mine.
Councilman Wardge.
250 from 24.
250 short to make the mark. Councilman Syme.
Thank you.
Thank you. 250 from D13.
Now we're at the mark. Anyone wants to add some more? We're going to go to a new mark. Hear no one else. Perfect. All those in favor of the amended ordinance say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing no opposition, the amended ordinance is before us. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Do you need a motion?
Well, that was for the amendment.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any in opposition? Hearing no opposition, that is approved. The next item, Madam Clerk, a reading of item 55.
An ordinance relating to the zoning of property located at 4514R and 4516R Crawford Avenue and 7006 Textile Avenue, containing approximately 3.84 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 zone 0128, as amended, read in full.
Second.
Items brought before us. Councilman Owen, this came out of your committee. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, President. So this is an ordinance changing the zoning from R4 to R5A and R6. It's located in District 12, and I'm sure Councilman Joseph wants to talk about it. I don't want to steal too much of his thunder, but I said this during committee as well. I really was pleased with how the committee dealt with this. It came to us, and the Planning Commission vote was split 5-2. The question was whether Textile Avenue was a very narrow kind of access point for this new development. And I think some of the neighbors were concerned about that. And so we tabled this as a committee. It went back, and Councilman Joseph worked on it, and they created some binding elements. And just a couple of the binding elements were to widen that access point, to put in a speed hump on that access point, and to do evergreen tree shielding to shield some of the neighbors. And so I thought the result of us tabling it and it going back was exactly the right thing, and it worked really well. So it ended up that those binding elements were added, and it was passed out of our committee unanimously. Councilman Joseph, I hope I didn't steal too much of your thunder.
Oh, you're good.
Joseph, you have the floor.
Thank you. While this development will be a significant change to the surrounding neighborhood, we were pleased at the willingness of the developers to work with us with those binding elements for the neighbors. I'm going to be voting yes on this housing development, but I continue to believe that we need to advocate for more amenities and resources in the South End to support these new residents.
Any other discussion on the item? Seeing none. The item is brought before us. Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Ordinance. That's ordinance.
Yes.
Councilmember Batchon?
Said yes.
Yes.
Mr. President, you have 21 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, a reading of item 56.
An ordinance relating to the zoning of property located at 5004 Campground Road and 4100 Bubbling Over Drive, containing approximately 0.38 acres and being a Louisville Metro, case number 24 zone 0108, as amended, read in full.
Motion.
That item is properly before us. Councilman Owen, this came out of your committee.
Thank you, President Ackerson. So this was an ordinance changing the zoning from R4 to C2, located in District 1. It's a block south of Lake Dreamland Road and adjacent to Central Transport. The property consists of two parcels, one with a single-family home and a portion of a second contiguous property. The applicant, which is Tune-Ups Plus, proposes to continue to use the residence, convert the detached garage for auto repairs, and construct a 1,200 square foot structure for auto repair use. This is in District 1. I'm sure Councilwoman Hawkins would like to speak to it. So it did, Councilwoman Hawkins did come to the committee and expressed her support, and it passed unanimously out of committee.
Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, this is an ordinance that requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, open the roll. Councilman Batshon, we need to see you on the screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Batshon is a yes. Mr. President, you have 21 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, a reading of item 58.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 118, Series 2010, relating to the fiscal year 2010-2011 capital budget. Ordinance number 115, Series 2017, relating to the fiscal year 2017-2018 capital budget. Ordinance number 109, Series 2018, related to the fiscal year 2018-2019 capital budget. Ordinance number 72, Series 2020, relating to the fiscal year 2020-2021 capital budget. Ordinance number 008, Series 2021, relating to the fiscal year 2021-2022 capital budget. Ordinance number 084, Series 2022, relating to the fiscal year 2022-2023 capital budget. Ordinance number 080, Series 2023, relating to the fiscal year 2023-2024. Ordinance number 101, Series 2024, relating to the fiscal year 2024-2025 capital budget. And ordinance number 095, Series 2017, by transferring funds between projects and establishing new projects as amended, read in full.
Motion.
Item brought before us. Councilman Winkler, I believe this came out of your Budget Committee?
That is correct. This item was discussed in the Budget Committee on May 8th. As some of you may know, the Republican caucus has for years pooled their CIF allocations to fund various projects in Republican districts. This legislation allows funds that were found to have remained after some of those projects were completed to be applied to other projects. All of those are listed in the body of the ordinance. It was amended in committee because I think there was a little bit out of balance that just needed to be corrected. Otherwise, I believe this would be on the consent calendar. It was approved unanimously. I don't know if Councilman Piagentini or Councilman Reed or Councilman Park, if anybody would like to speak to
Councilman Piagentini or Councilman Reed, if you want to jump in there, jump in there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll just say everything Councilman Winkler said is 100% accurate. It's really just cleaning up, and I want to thank the budget staff for doing that. Particularly Beth Stenberg worked on this and was able to reallocate these funds. These are old funds from prior budgets, so just cleaning them up and reallocating them to new projects. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support.
Councilman Reed, anything?
No, thank you.
Any other further discussion on this item? No discussion. This is an item that requires a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please open the roll.
Councilmember Batshon?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. President, you have 22 yes votes.
The ordinance is adopted. Madam Clerk, a reading of item number 50, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to accept $10,716 from the Louisville Medical and Education District for the LouMed Underpass Lighting Project to be administered by the Department of Public Works and Assets. As amended, read in full.
Motion.
Item is brought before us.
I'm sorry, it was not amended, sorry.
Councilman Hudson, I believe this is out of your...
Thank you, Mr. President. This came out of the Public Works Committee, and I move to amend the resolution that came out of the committee as shown in the documents online. This amendment, do we need to vote to amend it first?
What's that?
Do we need a vote to bring the amendment
I
forward?
presume that we're going to read the amendments in, and then we're going to vote on the amendments.
Okay.
Do we need someone to read those in, or are you going to read those in?
Madam Clerk, can you read the amendment in?
Or Mr. Feaster?
So, so the amendment is changed, it is, the total was $10,716. Now the total is $4,178.24, and money is also being given from the United Parcel Service and the Kentucky Expo Center, and this is on your system.
Is that sufficient?
Is there a motion to amend? Motion. All right,
Yeah.
any discussion on the amendments?
May I, Mr. President?
You have the floor, sir.
This amendment's being brought forward primarily to correct an error in the original ordinance, for which I take full responsibility. The original ordinance authorized the mayor to accept $10,716 for the LouMed underpass lighting project. This is a project that re-illuminates the underpasses in the LouMed district under I-65 that have been rendered dark because of the theft of the copper. So it's a great project, but subsequent to the ordinance being voted out of committee, additional funding has been identified for this project from donations from UPS, KEC, and LouMed, totaling $41,178. This amendment simply codifies these added funds to the project and authorizes the mayor to accept these funds for this purpose. I apologize to this body and to the clerk for the confusion and ask for your support and be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any discussion on the amendments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The amended ordinance is before us. Is there any further discussion on this ordinance or this resolution? Hearing none, this resolution requires a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? In opposition, that resolution is adopted. The next item of the business is new business. As you leave the chambers, do so quietly, so the clerk may read the new business. I would ask that any council members wishing to make announcements, please remain in the chambers and request to speak in your systems under the announcements. New business comprises of items 63 through 86. Will the clerk read those items and the committees they're assigned to?
The following legislation was assigned to Appropriations Committee. Item 63, an ordinance appropriating $1,000 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $1,000 from District 9 through the Office of Management and Budget to St. Joseph Catholic Orphan Society for costs associated with St. Joe's 176th Annual Picnic. Item 64, an ordinance appropriating $4,721 from neighborhood development funds in the following manner: $2,000 from District 1 and $907 each from Districts 3, 4, and 5 to Metro Parks and Recreation for costs associated with the Algonquin Pool Grand Reopening Community Day event. The following legislation was assigned to Budget Committee. Item 65, an ordinance amending ordinance number 100, Series 2024, relating to the fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget by transferring $25,000 from the Neighborhood Development Fund District 26 to the Louisville Metro Council General Operations District 26. Item 66, an ordinance amending ordinance number 100, Series 2024, relating to the fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget by transferring $10,000 from the Neighborhood Development Fund District 23 to the Louisville Metro Council General Operations District 23. The following legislation was assigned to Equity, Community Affairs, Housing, Health, and Education Committee. Item 67, a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept $8,500 of funding from the National Environmental Health Association, NEHA, through the Retail Flexible Funding Model grant program to be administered by the Department of Public Health and Wellness. Item 68, a resolution honoring Reverend Dr. Frank M. Smith, Jr. by dedicating the northwest corner of Krupp Park Drive and Preston Highway as Dr. Frank M. Smith, Jr. Drive in his honor. The following legislation was assigned to Government Oversight, Audit, and Appointments Committee. Item 69, a resolution creating the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government America 250 KY Committee as a designated local official Kentucky America 250 KY Planning Organization. The following legislation was assigned to Labor Economic Development Committee. Item 70, a resolution pursuant to the capital and operating budget ordinances approving the appropriation to fund the following sole source contract for the zoo concerning parts, maintenance, repair, and service for the zoo's antique conservation carousel, Carousels and Carvings, Inc., $200,000. Item 71, a resolution approving the granting of local incentives to eBlue Solutions, Inc. and any subsequent assignees or approved affiliates thereof pursuant to KRS Chapter 154, Subchapter 32. The following legislation was assigned to Planning and Zoning Committee. Item 72, an ordinance relating to the detailed district development plan for the properties located at 16907 and 16907R Aiken Road and containing approximately 55.87 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 2224DDP0078. Item 73, an ordinance relating to the Louisville Loop Master Plan and approving its executive summary as an amendment to the Plan 2040 Comprehensive Plan, case number 25LDC0002. Item 74, an ordinance relating to the amendment to binding elements for property located at 11905 Dixie Highway containing approximately 2.19 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 25 Amend 00001. Item 75, an ordinance relating to the zoning of properties located at 8803 through 8897 Old Barstown Road containing approximately 6.02 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0105. Item 76, an ordinance relating to the zoning of properties located at 8915 Old Barstown Road containing approximately 2.2 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0113. Item 77, an ordinance relating to the zoning of property located at 11401 Race Road containing approximately 2.4 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0115. Item 78, an ordinance relating to the zoning of properties located at 5862 New Cut Road and 7419 Star Lane containing approximately 4.3 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0062. Item 79, an ordinance relating to the zoning of property located at 3504 Garland Avenue containing approximately 0.17 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 25 Zone 0001. Item 80, an ordinance relating to the zoning of properties located at 5820 East Manslick Road and a portion of 8908 Maple Road containing approximately 10.29 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 25 Zone 0004. Item 81, an ordinance relating to the zoning of property located at 1325 Texas Avenue containing approximately 0.1387 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0133. Item 82, an ordinance relating to the zoning of properties located at 6422 and 6808 Billtown Road containing approximately 21.5 acres and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Zone 0137. Item 83, an ordinance relating to the closure of a portion of Franklin Street east of Jackson Street and the portion of Jackson Street between East Main Street and Witherspoon Street containing approximately 61,730 square feet and being in Louisville Metro, case number 24 Street Closure 0034. Item 84, an ordinance relating to the closure of unimproved North 12th Street and a portion of unimproved High Street, both north of Rowan Street, containing approximately 29,912 square feet and being in Louisville Metro, case number 25 STR Closure 0002. The following legislation was assigned to Public Safety Committee. Item 85, an ordinance amending the Louisville Metro Code of Ordinances, Section 72.062, concerning stolen vehicle retrieval at the Metro Government Tow Lot. The following legislation was assigned to Public Works Committee. Item 86, a resolution to relinquish on behalf of Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government and transfer the title, ownership, maintenance, and operation of a city street thereto to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, read in full.
All right, that's read in full. Councilman Parrish Wright, I believe you had a message or some announcements.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to announce, with permission of Councilwoman Hawkins, we're excited. There is Algonquin Pool. It's a grand reopening, and it's a community day. It is happening on May the 24th from 12 to 5 p.m. There'll be programming, lots of fun, people, food, and the first 600 people get into the pool to be able to swim for free. So we want you to help spread the word. May 24th is Algonquin Pool reopening and community day. We want as much people there as possible. Algonquin Pool used to be in District 3, and after redistricting, it became a part of District 1. But we are partners in this endeavor, and we're excited that that is happening. The other announcement is there's an ongoing clothing drive right here at Louisville City Hall, and we want to make sure that people are participating in it. You can drop off clothing for people who are being released from our local jail. Just because summer is coming does not mean people don't need things, from chapstick to lotion to shoes and clothing. Many of you have reached out to me. There is a bin right in the front lobby, 601 West Jefferson. I hope I'm giving the right address. It will be there, and you could come in and drop off your gently used items. We will make sure that they're given to the jail, so when people are being released, they have shoes, they have clothing, they have hygiene products, they have all the things they need, and we are accepting those things every day for the rest of the year. We'll make regular announcements for it, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Chapel, you have the floor, madam.
Thank you so very much. I just wanted to invite everyone out to our Big Bob Day. It's going to be our third one, and that is in District 15, and this time it's going to be in the Merriweather Fort Hill neighborhood, and we're really excited to celebrate it that day, not only with the neighbors, but all of Louisville who's invited. We're going to have a lot going on that day in Preston Park, 413 Augustus Avenue. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to have everything from an LMAS vaccine clinic to a Science Center kids activities to basketball tournaments, goats that you can pet, all sorts of really fun things, as well as a lot of departments and organizations that you can interact with at our resource fair. And so I would love to see everyone come out Preston Park for our Big Bob Day, Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you.
That concludes our announcements, I think. That concludes our meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Without objection, we are adjourned.